See each of you today. So we have our fabulous Richard Stanford, who's the master of prayers. He's going to come up and lead us in the invocation and pledge, and then followed by the national anthem. Thank you, Richard.
We save joys now for happy bucks, and so we'll save the joys, but how about concerns? Do we have any concerns that we need to lift up?
Richard?
Yes, yeah.
My father-in-law just went back into the ER this morning, so I'm waiting for updates. I'm not really sure how serious it is or what's going on. So.
What's his name?
Joe Huffstetler.
Joe Huffstetler, okay. Anything else? Okay, if you bow your heads. Father, we know you're always with us, but we want to be with those who need our prayers, and we pray today for Joe Huffstetler, and that he can get out of ER and be well again, and Mark and his family can enjoy his presence. Thank you for a diverse group of Rotary. We are African American, Anglo, Hispanic, we are Jewish, we are Christian, we're a cross-section of the community. The diversity of Rotary is one of its strengths, and diversity comes from you, Father, and we celebrate that diversity today. Bless this food we're about to take and the wonderful speaker we're about to hear. We pray all of this in your name. Amen. You want to go ahead and lead the pledge? No, go ahead. Okay. And now for our Pledge of Allegiance. If you'd face the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now join in our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous light o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Be seated. I'll see if this one works.
Thank you, Richard.
Yeah, it works too.
Thank you, Richard. And if you are a guest, and if you brought a guest, if you'll please stand so we can make sure that we get you introduced properly. I see a guest by Jennifer. Your badge is in? Okay. Any guests? We have one guest over there. Oh, fantastic. I'm sorry, I'm not really great at recognizing people without their masks.
Elisa.
So, I'm very thrilled to introduce Elisa Garcia. She is a friend of mine with the Junior League of Dallas. She's visiting for the second time. She's a professor and a number of Dallas junior college campuses, and so you can ask her about anything business related. She's got the answer for you. She's lots of fun, and I'm really thrilled that she's here today. Let's give her a warm round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
I think Karen has a guest. Oh, okay.
That's it.
Okay. Thank you. Welcome, Elisa. Natalie Corey is going to introduce Kyle Marmillion, our PCO Marketplace advertiser today. Miss Natalie.
Go, Natalie.
Oh. Thank you. Okay, so I guess I'll just, is this one not working?
Use that one.
use this one. Okay. All right, Kyle. Awesome. So today's marketplace advertiser is Kyle Marmillion with Marsh McLennan Agency. In a time where we faced unprecedented challenges, Rotarians have had to embrace the abnormal and deliver messages of strength, vulnerability, and resiliency. Like the Rotary Club of Park Cities Drive to make a positive impact in the community, Marsh McLennan Agency is driven by a passion to be there for our clients, colleagues, and communities in the moments that matter. As a full-service insurance brokerage, we work closely with the North Texas business community to develop comprehensive programs and solutions to meet their business insurance and employee health and benefits needs. MMA combines the personalized service model of a local consultant with the global resources of the world's leading professional services firm, Marsh McLennan. For more information, please reach out to Kyle directly. Where is Kyle? There he is. To have a discussion about how MMA can be a valuable partner to you and your businesses. Thank you, Kyle.
Dwight came in. Would you introduce him?
We have somebody we need to
We have another
introduce.
special guest to introduce.
Dwight, stand up and introduce yourself.
Hello, strangers. I've returned from Colorado for the weekend.
Fabulous. We're glad you're here.
Obviously, Happy knows that I've involved with a foundation that's based out of Denver now, it's the National Foundation to End Child Abuse and Neglect. And we're here in Dallas. We had our first walk last week in Denver. Here tomorrow at UTD, my former colleagues are hosting us out there. And then in a couple of weeks in Columbus, Ohio. So grassroots effort. You know, I don't have to tell you all, we need to connect with Rotary. Happy and I have talked about that. I met with some Rotarians yesterday that started an e-club here to
Awesome.
on suicide prevention and brain health.
Fantastic.
And we're going to try to connect with them and, you know, just take this where it needs to go. If anybody watched, unfortunately, the gymnast testify last week, it's sad that it has to take that to bring it to attention. But anyway, great to see you all.
Great to see you. Great to see you.
Thank you, Richard.
Okay, not this one.
It's sure great to see Dwight. He's a former member and on our leadership team, and so he lives in Colorado. We're thrilled he's here today and hope he keeps visiting back. Happy Bucks. So now is the time for our Happy Bucks. If you have some happy news that you want to share with us, if you'll stand. I am really happy. Ian and I got a lot of flowers planted. I'll have to post pictures. I'm real excited. So phase 1 and phase 2 is complete. Anyone else have happy news they want to share? All of the funds for this go towards honoring our public service honorees in Highland Park and University Park.
I'm a dad.
Congratulations! Woo! Ian says he's tired.
I'm a dad too, and she's 18 years old. And I bought her a car and she just drove off. Today is the first day of the Great State Fair of Texas, and Lily's out there enjoying herself. A little bit of back to normal. We'll see what we can do.
Fantastic. Thank you, Richard. And Sean has some happy news.
He's a dad. I'm a granddad. I had a daughter that gave birth to a son yesterday, or day before yesterday.
Wow. Congratulations. Very exciting. Send us the picture and we'll post that on Facebook. Very exciting. Anybody else have happy news? Awesome. Now, Karen Farris is going to introduce new member Chelsea Page. Come on up, Karen and Chelsea. Very exciting.
Clearly Clearly, I'm introducing somebody that probably doesn't need an introduction to most of you, in that she was a member of this club for 3 years. But for those of you who are new or may not know her, it is my honor to reintroduce Chelsea Page Davidson. When, you know, every now and then you meet somebody and you go, that person has to be a member of our Rotary Club, and you just immediately gravitate to that. Well, actually, Fred Brown and Cleve Clinton and I all met Chelsea at the same time at an Agape Clinic gala. We pounced on her, and we've been taking credit for her ever since. So, still doing that today. Chelsea was in the healthcare industry. She worked at Scottish Rite for a number of years, and it became difficult for her to be here on Friday, so she had to drop out. But she's embarked on a new career. She's in residential real estate. She's completing her license. She has 2 teenage daughters, and so please join me in welcoming back Chelsea Page Davidson.
We have oh, please stay up here. Okay. Yeah. We have a big book for you, and there's a red badge list in there, and so don't be daunted. We're here to help. And so let's get a picture. Okay. We're so glad you're here. Thank you. Awesome. Welcome. And now, Michelle Brown and Tyler Holcomb are going to give their new member speeches, if you'll come on up. This is one of the items on the red badge list, and so they're getting that checked off. And so, Michelle, if you'll come up first, and then Tyler. And we look forward to learning more about each of you. Very exciting. Michelle has props.
Okay, turn the light on. Okay, good morning. It's morning. Good afternoon, everybody. I wrote a speech, and I'm not going to stick to it because I'm not good at that part. But I just wanted to say my name is Michelle Brown. I'm very happy to be a new member of the Rotary Park Cities, and Stan invited me. I have been working with the Park Cities Rotary Club for 4 years now. With the 4th of July events and everything. And for the first time, I came to a meeting with Stan, and I just fell in love with everything and everybody. Please feel free to set a timer, because I don't want to go over, because I will. Anyway, I was born in Berkeley, California, and I grew up in the LA area. I grew up with Kamala Harris. She has no clue who I am. So, and then I moved away at about 5 or 6. We were in the same daycare and all that good stuff. Anyway, I went to, I have 4 or 5 children, bunch of them. 4 or 5? Well, I have 4 plus a bonus, so 5. And then I have 5 grandchildren, and 3 live in Texas, 2 live in Sacramento. And I moved to Vegas when I sent all my kids off to college, and then half of them followed me here. So I moved here about 6 years ago to Dallas, Texas. I graduated with my undergraduate in sound engineering and my master's in digital media communications. And a couple interesting things about me. One of them is I retired in 1999. I was a correction officer for 20 years. I know multiple serial killers personally. And they taught me a lot of things, like how to play dominoes and things like that. And cards and spades and all that good stuff. So I spent a lot of time in the prison system working with maximum security men. And when I finally left there, I went and started working with juveniles. And I learned that these same juvenile kids were going to school with my kids, and I said, I'm done. 20 years, I'm going to retire. In the meantime, of course, I went back to work and went back to regular stuff, but it took me a while. How am I on time? Okay, so anyway, I have lived all over the country in multiple states, and I am not a military brat, but when my father did grad school in UCLA, we moved to DC, and he worked for the government, and I used to have to fly to work with him every day. So I kind of grew up on an airplane as well. So back then, people used to smoke on the airplane, so I stunk all the time. I smelled like cigarette smoke and stuff because they used to smoke on the airplane. And that was just, I don't even understand that, but anyway. And one of the things that I've done for many years as a volunteer, not with the group, but myself, is I go to hospitals. This is pre-COVID, and I cut disabled military people's hair so that they can continue to have their military haircut. So if they're not mobile or bed bound or, have equipment attached to them and they can't get up, I go in and I can cut their military haircuts for that dignity that they like and that that patriotism that they like to maintain, through the years. So I've done that kind of all over the country, really, but mostly in Vegas. I haven't done it here. Let's see, what else? And I think I'll end on that part. Oh, so not too long ago, Happy took us all, or invited us all to this place called Chocolate Secrets to see somebody perform, and I fell in love with the place, madly in love with the place. So I brought individually wrapped chocolates for everybody. So, I literally fell in love with that place. And my birthday is October 1st, and so I'm having 3 birthday parties, one in Frisco and one at the Chocolate Factory, and I'm renting the whole place and having a big old party. We're more than welcome to come. And I don't know what else to say. I'll just keep talking. So thank you, everybody. I'm happy to be a member. Do I have more time left? No. Okay, good.
Thank you so much. Come on up.
Just go ahead. All right, well, I don't know any serial killers, and I definitely don't have any chocolate. Sorry to disappoint, strong start. First and foremost, my name is Tyler HOLCOM.
Where's the chocolate?
She's got the chocolate. A little bit about me real quick, I'll keep it brief. From a small town on the Kansas side of Kansas City called Shawnee. Born and raised there, son of a paralegal and a fireman. I have one sibling, she's a sister on her way to DC for a role in politics. So, God bless her. In high school, I participated in Boy Scouts, numerous sports and band, earned my Eagle Scout in 2011, graduated high school in 2013. Immediately after, attended the University of Kansas, home to arguably the worst football program in America, which really stinks as a football fan. If you could make it to halftime, then you were a true fan of KU football. Otherwise, we'd just go watch UT or Oklahoma or something else. I joined Theta Chi fraternity on the campus and spent most of my time participating in various activities related to that. Graduated in May of 2017 with a BA in Environmental Studies and a minor in Business. Moved to Allen, Texas shortly after that for a position with the local Boy Scout Council. After a year in Allen, I think I was probably the youngest resident in Allen, so I moved to the farmer's market to have a little more fun, see more people my age, and absolutely loved it. Right after that, purchased my first investment property with a friend near Lake Highlands. And in June 1st, started a new fundraising role with Circle 10 Council, currently quite enjoying that. My girlfriend also recently moved here from Kansas City and is a music teacher with Mesquite High School. Go Skeeters. When I'm not working or with the Rotary Club, I enjoy physically staying in shape by going to CrossFit. I play guitar to soothe myself. I also enjoy playing golf, especially on the first few holes, but by hole 18, I've lost all hope. I also enjoy learning and reading about real estate investing, so always happy to chat with anybody about that. I also try and stay involved in the community with Ronald McDonald House as well. So I came to Rotary for 2 reasons. One, my grandfather was a Rotarian in a small Kansas town called Lyons, kind of in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of that state. And the council recommended I join the Allen Rotary Club. Really enjoyed it, got more involved immediately, served as their facilities chair, secretary, and program chair for about 1.5 years before moving to this club. And I've got to say, I am very impressed with the organization, dedication, and leadership of this club. I love going back home to see my grandparents and talk to them about all the great things at Rotary. is still doing and updating them on Allen Rotary and Park City's Rotary Club. So I appreciate you guys listening to me, and I look forward to getting more involved and meeting everybody, and I'll try to bring chocolate next week.
Way to go, Tyler. He's a fellow Chiefs fan, so of course I think he's fabulous. And thank you again, Michelle, for your generosity, and thank you, Richard, for passing all those out. Very exciting. And Evan ALTEMUS is going to tell us about a veteran mentoring program that he's going to be starting. Come on up, Evan.
So I'm starting a veterans group within the club. Just some background about it. I'm looking for people to help. So I graduated from the Naval Academy and then was an officer in the Navy for 6 years. And so when I got out, I thought, oh, I have a pretty good resume. It should be easy. And it was not. And so, I was an officer and went to a good school. And to find a job that wasn't like a government contracting related job is very difficult because, so like if you take a Marine, for example, he gets out and did tours in Fallujah, Iraq, Afghanistan, then he hands his resume to an HR person who's been in HR for 20, 30 years, and she's like, well, this looks impressive, but we hired the position for Rambo last week, so what do we do with this guy? But I'm joking, but that's kind of the dynamic that, because they just don't understand. You're talking about completely different languages with the military and their acronyms, and it just doesn't translate to a resume. So you have so millions of hundreds of thousands of veterans that have such good intangibles and can help out companies and just want to start a new career. Guys who've been in 5, 6, 10 years, they want to get into something different. So what I'm looking for is, and when I got out actually, I started a small website. I didn't think anything would come from it, but this was 9 years ago. I didn't have funding, didn't really know what I was doing, but I actually got hundreds of veterans to sign up and companies who wanted to be a part of it, and it was growing pretty good. I just didn't have the time or knowledge or funding to carry it through, and so I joined Rotary. I thought that we should take another shot at it. So what I'm looking for is people want to volunteer, make it quick, easy, so have like a call-in or a Zoom number where, let's say, a veteran 27 years old wants to learn about different industries. So people here in law, banking, real estate, investment, just talk about briefly what your industry is like to the veteran, how to network, any suggestions for networking. So we're teaching him to fish instead of giving him a fish. So much with veterans is related to disabled veterans and wounded warriors, which it should be. But there's everyone in the middle that doesn't receive any help. When you get out of the military, you take a transition class, but it's mainly focused on moving your stuff, disability benefits, things like that. So if we can teach them how to network, what industries are like, help the process. It's something that you can do from your office, from your home, like 10 minutes here, a 15-minute call. If we do a call-in number, it's not like you're giving your phone number out, but I think you're going to be amazed at just how big it becomes. Just the normal sailor getting out, or an officer. I mean, I had my captain in the Navy who, he got out after me, and he was calling me asking for advice and this guy is very well connected. He's a captain of a ship, so that shows you just how much is needed. And I want to make it quick, easy on everyone, because the more people we can help, the more different industries we can teach veterans about, and just how to network, how to get a job, or because that's like apples and oranges to a veteran. A veteran, you get your paycheck every 2 weeks. Do what you're told, but that when you're thrown into the civilian world, and people say, oh, you go start a company, oh, thank you for your service, and then that's about it. That's your learning curve, and then you're expected to perform. So when I started Ernst & Young, my first job, I was 30 years old, led hundreds of sailors, and I had this kid who was like 22 years old, right out of college, did banking, his whole for 4 years, internships, and he's like, hey, you need to get on track. You need to do this. I was like, what world am I in right now? and so that's what, to learn to ease that process because it's very difficult. So anyone who's willing to help, just 10, 15 minutes here and there, I'll connect you with veterans, normal people, nothing crazy. So appreciate any help you can give. Thanks.
Miss Elaine.
Thank you. Everybody that has a, I guess, where would be the best place? Line them up here or right here? Spell out peanut butter.
We gotta be in order?
Yeah. They're double letters, so y'all gonna have to fight for a spot. And it's P-E-A-N-U-T. Thank you so much for wholeheartedly volunteering for this effort. Okay. E-A-N-U-T. Where's the B? E-A-N-U-T-B. Orville, do you have the B? Okay, B. U. Lee, come over here. Butter. It's not. No, just trade spots. Butter. We're spelling peanut butter. B.
Next week, you need to give them a cheat sheet.
You come over here. We're spelling peanut butter. Well, that's the program, guys. I want, this will be fun. You will enjoy it. I want you to think about one thing. If you're a child or an adult out there in this world, in our community, what would you do if you didn't know where your next meal was coming from? So thank you so much for all your donations virtually. The peanut butter, I don't know the numbers, but I thank each of you. Today, I've been given the permission by Happy and Phil and everybody. You can write a check. I have a check here. In fact, I found 10 words that rhyme with butter, and I've made a check out for 100 for each of those. Not 100 for per. Okay. Thank you. We would like for you to make an additional donation. Some of you have said that it's been hard for you to go virtually and make a donation. So, you know, we'll take a check today. We'll even take cash. So give us cash, and Happy will take it to the food bank. Okay? So we're spelling out peanut butter. So P. Where is P? Do you have the, where's the P? Oh, Happy. Thank you. Where did you find that P? What does that stand for? President? No. Try. Protein, peanut and protein. Thank you, thank you. Okay, Bill.
Energy.
Energy.
A for awesome and affordable.
Can everybody hear that? Or should I come up here?
And for nutritious.
Nutritious.
U for utterly delicious.
T for thrilling to your mouth.
B, it's the best.
It is, it is.
U for ubiquitous.
What does that mean?
That means it's everywhere.
And that's right. Peanut butter is everywhere for everybody.
Okay.
T for tasty.
Tasty. Linda.
T for thrifty.
Yes.
E gives you endurance.
Exactly.
R for refined?
Yes.
Or maybe remember to make a donation?
Okay, so let's spell out, let's yell out peanut butter, and y'all can join the crowd. Peanut butter. Peanut butter. Okay.
You're in my photo.
I guess we need to think about additional monies. If you want to hand a 20 to me or to Happy, you know, you'll take it to the food bank this afternoon or whatever. So thank you for being so eager to assist in this. And, we're all Rotarians, and we love to have fun, and we love to have it together. So we're not part of the program, but we hope this has gone smoothly, just like peanut butter. But there have been a few little crunchy along the way. So, okay.
Don't go to a statement.
Okay.
Between the peanut and the butter.
Peanut butter. Okay. So is that too far, or can we squash, or what? Okay, thank you. Oh, bless you. You have money?
Stand right.
Thank you. Where's Richard? It's okay, thank you.
Wow, that's a hard act to follow. I'm here to, as always, talk to you about the North Texas Food Bank and our packing day. Also, I need to make Michelle Brandon, I need to apologize to her that when I want to take credit for bringing in this sweet lady. When I recruited her, I said, part of what you have to do, you have to give a new member speech, and when you do that, you have to bring candy to everybody. Well, I thought she knew I was kidding. So I apologize, Michelle, for... Anyway, our packing day is 3 weeks from tomorrow, Saturday. It's October 16th. We already have 20 people signed up, which is great. What's even better, I see some names of some schlackers on here that I'm glad that they signed up. So if we could have more, that'd be great. Go online. Somebody did call me. They tried to get their wife to sign up. They couldn't do it when they signed up. What you have to do is go in again, and they have to create their own password. So, and to sign up like that, or neighbor, friend, girlfriend, whatever. All right, 3 weeks from tomorrow. Thank you.
Thanks,
Check the monitors for the announcements. The Stars game is going to be on Friday, October 29th. Please go online and register. I've got to let them know how many of us are going so that we can get those seats reserved. Please do that ASAP. That's going to be lots of fun. The blood drive signups will start next week. Our blood drive is going to be on Friday, November 12th. It's going to be lots of fun. It's going to be in the Carter Blood Care bus just outside of Macy's outside. And so you can be sure to tell your friends about that. Friday, November 12th from 10 to 2. And now without any further ado, Ed FJORDBAK is going to introduce our speaker. Come on up, Ed.
All right, thank you, Happy. Okay, guys, I'm here to introduce Jody Grant, who's here to talk about the Rotary, Klyde Warren Park. So a little introduction to Jody. I first met him around 1986, where my attorney friend, Burl Godfrey, the late Burl Godfrey of Fort Worth, introduced me to the youngest CEO and chairman of a regional bank in Texas, Jody Grant. Jody Grant was born and raised in San Antonio, ended up at SMU, and he was a swimmer. He decided to do his PhD down in Austin at some small university there and studied finance and economics, which prepared him for what was about to happen. Most of you were around in 1988 when Texas had a banking crash, and when that happened, instead of just being upset about it, Jody wrote a book to sort of chronicle it, and it was called The Great Texas Banking Crash. I don't think it's in print anymore, but it gave a description of what happened politically and so on that allowed our Texas banks to fail at that time. Now, Jody then was called by Ross Perot, and EDS had married a company called General Motors, and the marriage wasn't going well. And so Jody was brought in as chief financial officer to orchestrate the divorce of EDS from General Motors, and he achieved that. About that same time, in his heart, he had banking. And so Jody decided, let's think about building another regional bank because Texas needs its own banks, not just a group of national banks controlling everything. And so that's how he and a few other guys conceived of and created Texas Capital Bank, which is now one of our larger regional banks in this area. Jody is a can-do person, and when he was in Fort Worth running Texas American Bank as the youngest CEO and chairman of a regional bank in Texas, he decided that the Interstate 30 that ran through the southern part of the city of Fort Worth was messing up downtown Fort Worth. And nobody wanted to do anything about it or thought they could do anything about it. After all, it was a huge highway. So he sued the federal government, and they moved the highway south of that about a mile, which allowed Fort Worth to grow a little bit more. Jody's one of those people that isn't afraid to do what other people might think is impossible. Then, when he comes to Dallas, creates Texas Capital Bank, he'd heard the rumors that there was a possible park that could be put on top of Woodall Rogers Freeway, which had been put below grade, and people said, you can't do that. You know, in this country, we're generally divided, almost 50-50, politically or not. I mean, half the people love Peter Pan, half the people love Jif. Half the people love creamy, half the people love crunchy. Not in this case. Almost everybody in town said this is a stupid idea, it won't work, it's going to cost too much money. And then, I won't mention any names, but her initials are Caroline Rose Hunt, said to him, oh, you'll just drag in vagrants and they'll be sleeping on the benches. Horrible idea, I won't support that. Undaunted, Jody said, let's build this park. And despite editorials in the newspaper and critics everywhere, that park then became the thing that unified downtown and uptown. We could use some unity in the United States now, couldn't we? So, that's what Jody's all about. And the park was so successful, he realized a couple of mistakes were made. First of all, we had no idea there were that many kids downtown, and he'll talk to you about that. So now there's a project to expand the thing. Jody's been a good friend for a long time. He was on the board of Communities Foundation of Texas as I retired and later became chairman. He's done a lot of other things, Horatio Alger Award and Young Presidents Association and so on. And his wife Sheila is his great companion, and without Sheila I'm not sure how effective he'd be, but he is a pretty great guy, and it's been my privilege to know him. Jody, would you come on up and give him a good round of applause, not for just the park, but for building a good regional bank. Jody?
Well, I don't know if I can beat putting a couple of jars of peanut butter together. But I'm really delighted to be here for a number of reasons. One, my father-in-law, Hugh Peterson, was a member of this club for many, many years. And, you know, he's no longer with us either, but, you know, I'm trying to carry on the tradition. Secondly, this is the first time I've had a suit on probably in a year and a half. So, you know, now this inventory was burning a hole in my pocket in my closet. So I'm glad to be able to wear a suit. This was a good reason to do it. And it's maybe a coming out party for me anyhow. I heard this morning that new cases of COVID are down 17% from the high reached recently. So maybe we've hit a turning point and more people can begin wearing suits and gather like you are today. And I guess the final reason is that when we built Klyde Warren Park, the Rotary Club participated in a grand way. And we have an installation downtown. If you haven't seen it, it's in the Children's Park. Ed was one of the architects of that, and it's one of the mainstays of the park. So I'm here to really talk to you about the park, and we've got some screens, and so we're going to put some things on the screen for you to see, and Mark's going to help me do that. We stay coordinated here. I may give him a signal or two. So Mark, let's go to the next one. And what you're going to see here is what it used to look like. So we had this ugly gash, you know, in our landscape downtown. It was almost a moat separating uptown from downtown. And the game plan was to get rid of that moat, cover it with something that would look a lot better. And so Mark, let's look at the next one. So this is what we envisioned back in, this is actually a watercolor painted in 2006. And if you look at it carefully, you'll see that there is a fountain it'd be on the the upper left-hand corner of what you're looking at, and looks like a big thing with water flowing down. So we had thought about a fountain a long time ago, and I'm going to come back to that. We didn't build it because we didn't have enough money to do it at the time. But this depiction is pretty close to what we ended up with, so Mark will show them the next one. So that's the park today. And it looks very much like the watercolor that was painted in 2006. We opened it in 2012, 6 years later, and we're going to celebrate our 10th anniversary next year. And we hope all of you will come help us do that. The next picture shows the park from the other end, looking at it from west to east. And we are going to transform this park. Let me just talk to you for a minute about the park as it was conceived. It was supposed to be a one-third project between the city, the state, and the private sector. Well, that was a $60 million project. The project grew to $100 million, and the private sector picked up all the rest. So, you know, the public sector had $40 million plus $16 million of Obama money, and then we raised $55 million from people like us. So it was really, really great. The park today is managed. It is unusual. It was the second park in the United States that was programmed. And by programmed, I mean we've got an executive director, we've got a full-time staff, we've got a budget of $5 million. We don't get any money from the city. We have to raise all that money to keep the park operating day in and day out. And we've got a wonderful lady, KASHAR, who's running it for us and doing a great job. So the park has come a long way. Everything that we do there is free to the city, and it's become the town square of Dallas. It is the most diverse place you could ever go because there are people of all races and religions, and we're just getting along great down there. So, Mark, I'm getting ahead of you. If you'll, no, you're fine where you are. He just showed you a picture of some people doing yoga on the lawn, just an activity, you know, that you'll find ongoing down there. And we'll have as many as 400 people doing yoga. The next picture, which I think is the one that's up there now, shows various activities. These happen to be holidays for the most part. The upper left is Memorial Day celebration, honoring our veterans. Then you see the Christmas tree celebration and on the right. On the left at the bottom is July the 4th. And then we also have a movie series, and that's depicted. This is just an example of the kinds of things that we're doing down there. But we have a video, which CBS 11 did, and Mark, if we can roll the video, and I hope this works. There we go. Karen, that was a perfect shot. So that was thanks to CBS 11, one of our partners. You know, you can tell we're having fun down there. So I invite all of you to come. We've got things going on all the time. If you go to our website, you can see a calendar there, and be delighted to have you join us. The next slide shows what we're getting into now. So we've got a $125 million improvement and enlargement program. And this is what I spend 95% of my time on. And I have a lot of help. People like Ed, who's on our executive committee and has been a colleague of mine for a long time. People like Ed make me look good every day. Fortunately, we've got quite a number of people like that. So I want to start at the bottom. We are relocating our dog park from inside the park today to across the street next to Museum Tower. And then we're also creating an interactive water fountain. I'm going to spend some time talking about the water fountain. We're enlarging the children's park because the day the park opened, we realized that the children's park was too small. So, you know, we can have 200 kids playing in there. We can accommodate 300 or 400. And we've got a demand for that. So we're doing something about it. And then finally, we're building further over the freeway. On January the 6th, we will, the Texas Department of Transportation is letting bids, and we're going to build another 2 blocks of park. So we're adding 1.7 acres to the 5.2 acres, which will give us a park of nearly 7 acres when we're finished. And it's a wonderful project. Now I'm going to just show you what the new dog park's going to look like. We probably have a lot of dog lovers in the crowd here today. But we found some property that really wasn't suitable for anything, and you know, dogs are not too discriminating, and they love to run long distances. So we're creating a new dog park for them, which is twice the size of the old dog park. And then the next picture shows what this dog park's going to look like when it's finished. I think, to be on the safe side, we'll be open certainly by November the 1st. We've got a target of October 15th, but I don't know if we're going to make that. In any event, this is what the new dog park's going to look like. It's at the corner of Pearl and the south access road to Will Rogers Freeway. So picture the Mort Meyerson Symphony Hall is right across the street on Pearl. And so you'll be able to walk your dog either before or after the symphony, and I don't think they're going to let you take the dog to the symphony. But in any event, it's going to be a fabulous place. So the next shot is of the new fountain. And I want to spend just a few minutes talking about this fountain. This will be unique in the world in the context that a fountain like this, which is powered with really powerful jets of water, you never find one that has kids interacting with it. Well, we're going to have the ability to have kids in this fountain. So the fountain is like a triangle, and it's 130 feet at the base of the triangle, and each side's about 100 feet. So it's a big fountain. The fountain will have 3 what we call trees in them. They are stainless steel. They're 15 feet tall, 12 feet wide at the on the diameter at the top. And inside those trees are the equipment that is powerful. We've got, between each one of the bars on these trees is about 2 inches. So kids can't get in there and get hurt. But we'll have what you call water cannons inside that. And the water cannons have the ability to shoot the water over 100 feet in the air. That's like a 10-story building. We also have other fountains called dancers. And the dancers create movement. And the water will be in swirls. It'll be moving from side to side. At night, it will be illuminated and choreographed to music. So we'll have classical programs. I was in Wilmington, Delaware a week ago today and saw the most fantastic fountain that was done by our architect. It covers 7 acres and is a place called Longwood Gardens. But it numbs the senses. It's so awesome. Ours is going to be more intimate than that one. I had to be 200 yards away because of all the equipment and how vast it is to see it. Ours is going to be, you can get up close and personal with it. And if you want to get wet, you can actually get in the fountain. We'll have shows at night. I saw a Dolly Parton show a week ago today, and Dolly Parton's aunt and her cousin were sitting behind me. It was fantastic. You know, it was a thrilling experience. So this fountain is going to be unique in the world. The one in Longwood Gardens, they have 1.5 million visitors a year. They charge admission for it, and they bring in revenue of about $15 million a year. So it's a big deal there. And this is one of the nation's best kept secrets. and it's right here in the United States. So if you ever go in that direction, go to Longwood Gardens and see this fountain. You won't be disappointed. The next slide shows you the children's park and what we're going to do with that. There's a line across the middle of the picture, which below the line is the new part of the park. So we're going to create a climbing wall, which we don't have today. This part of the park will be for kids that are probably 5 years old to 10 or 12. The existing park really is for toddlers and really young kids, more than for, you know, the next segment that I've just talked about. So we got a climbing wall, totally safe. We have some more spinning equipments. Kids love merry-go-round kinds of things. We've got one spinner that you stand on, and we try to do things that kids like to do, and that also that improve them physically. So, you know, we've things that they can climb on, hand over hand. We've got balance equipment that'll improve their balance. So we're working to please the kids. That's what we're all about. There's a shade area. We don't now have a place where we could have picnics, so moms can come and they can roll out their stuff, and dads. Don't want to discriminate against us guys. And they will have a place to do that. And it's a good-sized shade area. So it's going to be exciting. Then we have a climbing tower that's 30 feet tall, and there's a slide off of it that you know, enables kids to get down, and it's safe. There's webbing around the whole thing, so nobody can fall out of this. We have a water feature that has buckets of water. The buckets fill up, and then they tump over, and they're up above your head. So, you know, you'll get wet when the buckets turn. It'll be lots of fun. So we're really looking forward to this edition. We've had a very generous donor that gave us $5 million to do this, and it'll probably cost every bit that much. So there was another picture. Yeah, there's the next picture of the addition to the children's park. So these are labors of love. I'm having the time of my life doing this, and am so lucky to have people like Ed working with me. The next picture shows the beginning of the addition that we're doing, the 1.7 acres. We don't have a place to have activities when it's raining outside. So we'll be able to bring the yoga class inside to this building. And that's the primary function of it, is to provide us a multi-weather kind of facility. On the ground floor of that facility, though, we're going to have a visitor center for Dallas. So we're collaborating with Visit Dallas, who brings all the conventions here. Imagine they will pick up somebody at the airport, they'll bring them to Klyde Warren Park. We'll have the visitor center of today is all electronics. So you go in and you have a clicker, and you can, if you want to see Roger Staubach's, you know, 1972 Hail Mary pass, you'll be able to call it up and see it. So it's going to be lots of fun. We're also going to have a control room from the highway department in there that's more for show than actual control. They've got a huge facility where they do that. But it'll be also the kind of touch screen, but in today's world you don't touch screens because somebody with COVID may have been there before me or before you. So anyhow, there's new technology, and you know, we're concerned about people's health and safety. But it's going to be a fantastic facility. On the roof, there is a roof garden, and it'll be the best view of all of Dallas, and we think it'll be highly used. So let's go to the next one. And this shows you the three levels. We're looking at it, looking from east to west. So this is St. Paul Street in this view that is right in front of the building. And it shows you, I think, it's a good view of architecturally what this building is going to look like. The architect is a man working for Gensler out in New York City. He's also doing a park for Warren Buffett in Nebraska and in Omaha. So the next slide will show you the different levels of the building if you're looking at it from Ackerd Street. So it's being built where there's a change in elevation and enables us to put the the mechanical and a little bit of parking that we're required by the city to have all sort of below grade. So as you look at this, the first level, one marked number 1, is really the service level, but there's a lobby there where we'll drop people off. We can accommodate Lyft and Uber and other types of public transportation. How am I doing time-wise? I've got, okay, 5 to go. I can do this in 5 minutes. 10.
5 minutes. 5 minutes.
5 minutes, okay. So, 5 minutes, we got it. So anyhow, next level is the visitors level. The one after that is where we will hold events for the park, and that's where you'd move the yoga classes to, and then the roof level on top of that. We think it's going to be really a great addition to the park. The next picture shows an additional great lawn, so to speak. This will be entirely covered with artificial grass because it's going to get so much use we could never keep grass alive. And there will be things like a ice skating rink during the winter months. So the ice skating rink will be about the same size as the one at Rockefeller Center that you see with the Christmas tree lighting. And that'll be something unique in Dallas. And believe it or not, there are lots of people who didn't grow up in Dallas but came from the north, and they brought their ice skates with them. So anyhow, let's play one more. This is the final slide, and it's a video that really captures everything I've just talked about. Here it goes. So I don't know, do we have sound with it, Mark? Okay, well, there's usually music accompanying this, so Ed, do you want to come sing while we're doing this? But anyhow, we have over 1 million visitors a year to the park. Again, our budget's $5 million a year. We get no city money. We have to find that money someplace, and we're balancing our budget, so we're fiscally responsible. So we're now flying via drone over the park, going from east to west, and voila, you will see the new building right there. And so we think that's going to be fabulous. And then what we call Jacob's Lawn is behind it. Jacob's engineering company gave us $8 million for the lawn. And we will see, I think it will morph into, now we're going backwards now. This will be some close-up shots of the pavilion, the building. And I'm looking over my shoulder here, but you're again looking at it toward the west. You'll be able to see beautiful sunsets from that, which are hard to see in Dallas. It's kind of going off and on here, but again, this is a drone shot flying over the building. Happy I'm still on schedule. I think maybe 2 minutes to go. We're going to get there. This is the streetcar that's on St. Paul that's passing in front of the building. And a lot of patio there. People love patios, and we intend to have something like a Starbucks inside, so you can go there in the morning and take your iPad and read the newspaper. I would say you could turn the pages, but you can't. That's some of the event space, and then this is the lawn. And you will see the lawn morph into a tented facility in just a second. Again, there are the tents. And then the ice skating rink should be next, yeah. So we're going to create fun things for people to do in downtown Dallas, more fun things. And this is the second love of my life, my wife being the first. But I'm having a good time doing this and really appreciate the opportunity to tell all of you about it today. And those of you who are online, I understand there may be as many people looking at this online than here. So, thank you very much. Appreciate being here.
We have time for 2 questions.
Oh, 2 questions.
Okay.
Sorry, I thought we were out of time. I didn't know I had the opportunity to answer questions.
Jody, thank you so much for the update. We appreciate, I think everyone's excited about what's happening downtown. Can you talk for a minute about the other parks? Hasn't the Klyde Warren Park kind of triggered the development of other satellite parks in the downtown area?
Well, yes, and Robert Decker, the Dallas Morning News, is really he's the genius behind those, and there are 4 parks that either have been built or are being built, and they're scattered through the downtown area. They are not like this park in that they don't have continuous ongoing management and they don't have events. They'll have some events, but they don't have somebody like our Kit Sars and her staff of 14 people who run the park day in and day out. The city runs those, and they are very, very nice. They're beautiful parks, but they're more residential parks for the folks downtown. That's it.
Thank you so much for the fabulous presentation, and if you'll stay afterwards, I'm sure some more people have some questions. Book is being placed in your honor at McShan Elementary. We appreciate you being here.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm honored.
Ed was just telling me that the four-way test is placed at the largest tree at Klyde Warren Park.
That's great.
So we'll have to go and check that out. Next week's meeting, Brad Alberts, the CEO and president of the Dallas Stars. So be sure to buy your tickets to go to the Dallas Stars game on October 29th. He's going to be our speaker next week along with Marty Turco. It's going to be a really fun program. So, and bring a guest. And now Miss Pam Carvey is going to lead our membership minute. Come on up, Miss Pam.
Hi, everyone. Is this one working? Okay, great. A lot of you, I know a lot of you, and a lot of you don't know me because, you're kind of new to the club. I joined the Rotary Club 20 years ago in Plano, Texas, and then when I moved to Dallas, I immediately became a member here without any pause in my membership. My father was a Rotarian, and I wanted to follow his steps. One of the things that really impacted me as a Rotarian was my time spent at the Atlanta, Georgia RI convention. And Mark, do you have the picture? Okay, great. When I was there, it really impacted me. This wonderful lady slowly came forward on the stage, step by step, to talk to us. She was a polio person. She is a polio victim. And one of the things that really surprised me was her stamina. She had gotten polio at the age of 18 months in India. And she was adopted by American parents, and she had many surgeries in America. And what really impressed me so much, she has gotten married, had children, but what really impressed me was she is an Ironman world champion. She was never going to give up, and she went back to India to inoculate more people there. India is now polio-free. We are down to 2 countries in the world, Afghanistan and Pakistan, still have polio. Rotary has been working on it for so many years, along with other organizations. In order to be polio-free, which is what I realized, the country has to have had no new polio for 3 years. And so we have gotten, Nigeria and India have dropped off, and they have had no polio. So we're down to 2 in the world. And when you think about COVID, how fast did that go around the world? We have polio loose in the world. We are going to have it everywhere. So we have got to keep working at it. And that just really impressed me so much in my Rotary work. During my year, we had the 50th anniversary of our Rotary Club. We had helium balloons in 2 colors. Of course, they were blue and gold. We had the past presidents from the last 22 years come and talk about their Rotary year. And so that was a very memorable time. And also during my year, 4 years ago, through the help of Greg Pape, who worked on this so hard, every Rotarian in our club was a Paul Harris member. They either themselves donated $1,000 or other members did to make everyone a Paul Harris member. And we got an award for that, which we definitely deserved because Greg worked so hard on that. Recently, I've been very involved with the Bonton Farms, and through my companionship with Lee and Linda, we had raised over $150,000 for the Bonton Farms Medical Clinic, and I know all of you know about that. And the other thing that I work hard on is the foundation. I have so much pride in what our Rotary accomplishes through our foundation. We have sponsored the parade, and that took money, grant requests, scholarships at Hillcrest High, the playground that was built by our club, was it 10 or 20 years ago, Philip? 10, 20, 15 years ago, we built a playground, our club. And I just want to mention that to some of the newer members, and we also bought a food truck for the North Texas Food Bank. So that, in addition to all the friends I have made, have really made an impact on my life, and I suppose I'll be a Rotarian until I pass. So I hope you all join me in staying a Rotarian forever.
Thank you, Pam. Miss Chelsea Page is going to lead us in the four-way test. If you'll please rise. Thank you.
Hello. If you'll join me, please, with the four-way test. Number one, is it the truth? Number two, is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
That was extemporaneous.